Good evening. We'd like to call this meeting to order.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 7, 2022. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Here.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Here.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Here.
Vice President Crate.
Here.
President Minikino.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we take a moment to rise and salute the flag, please, and a moment of silence?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you approve, accept, and file the reports, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the November 9th meeting, please?
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Minikino.
Yes.
Thank you.
And this brings us to our consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 4-1.
Authorized budget appropriation transfers.
Councilwoman Crate.
This resolution authorizes budget appropriation transfers as needed for year end. The transfers do not increase our overall municipal budget in any way. We are moving funds from one account to another. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-2, please.
Authorized cancellation of unexpended budget appropriation.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the cancellation of unexpended 2022 budget appropriations in the amount of $248.04. The unexpended appropriation is in the form of prior year bills that are outdated and no longer needed to be paid. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-3.
Authorized cancellation of stale dated checks for municipal court.
Councilman Albanese.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the cancellation of stale dated checks totaling $312 and the bail account of $4.50 in the municipal court general account.
Thank you. Resolution 4-4.
Authorized Fifth Amendment lease with T-Mobile USA Tower LLC.
Thank you. Councilman Ambrosino.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes a Fifth Amendment lease with T-Mobile USA Tower LLC. The Township Municipal Building property is the location for a cell tower owned and operated by Crown Castle. As part of our agreement with Crown Castle, the Township receives a portion of the rent for any tenants who lease space on the cell tower, of which there are currently two, T-Mobile and Verizon. The purpose of the amendment is to allow a tower rental and ground space property rental for a third renter, which is Dish Network. The Township did remove a storage shed from the rear property area, squared off the plot, and provided a fenced-in area which now increased the available ground rental space. By fencing off the area, we now provided a private and secure area for ground rental equipment for the property rental users, separate from our equipment. This now allows for 3 separate property renters, providing additional income for the Township.
Thank you. Resolution 4-5.
Authorized closeout change order number 1 roof replacement.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes change order number 1 and closeout of the contract with Northeast Roof Maintenance located in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, for the roof replacement project at the municipal building. The change order decrease in the amount of $20,000 is the result of final as-built quantities. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-6, please.
Authorize appointment of temporary purchasing agent.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes, thank you. This resolution appoints the Township Business Administrator as the temporary purchasing agent for the Township. This appointment is the direct result of an unexpected immediate vacancy in the purchasing department. This appointment is being made in compliance with the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs Division of Local Government Services. This resolution makes a temporary appointment to allow the Township time to complete its due diligence in identifying a qualified, capable replacement.
Thank you. Resolution 47.
Authorize Board of Adjustment appointments.
This resolution authorizes Board of Adjustment members as needed to fill vacancies. Kathy M. Russell is being appointed as an alternate member. Resolution 48.
Thank you. 48A, 100% DAV widow of veteran cancel and refund taxes at Block 383.12, Lot 75, in the amount of $2,484.65. 8B, 100% DAV widow of veteran cancel and refund taxes at Block 1124.01, Lot 3, in the amount of $10,430.25. 8C is 100% DAV widow of veteran cancel and refund taxes at Block 380.20, Lot 1, in the amount of $1,384.01. 8D is 100% DAV widow of veteran cancel and refund taxes at Block 324.29, Lot 21, in the amount of $1,503.13. 8E, tax overpayment in 2022, Block 1285.58, Lot 12, in the amount of $5,725.30.
Thank you. Resolution 49.
Authorize support for acquisition of property by County of Ocean.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So this is an exciting ordinance. As everybody might remember, about a year ago, we started a new committee in town called the Brick Open Space Savers, or BOSS. And for the past year, we've been working on trying to figure out which properties in town we would like to try to see the town and or county acquire to keep it as open space, not for any particular purpose. So we had people joined from all over town, the north, the south, the east, the west, on the water, not on the water, and we all came together, and the group actually voted on 4 properties that we would send letters out to, coming from myself, telling the owners that we're interested in acquiring it by way, to keep it as open space. Out of those first 4 letters, we got 1 response, which is a good percentage, which is 25%, which I was surprised. I thought we would get ignored, but only 3 of them ignored us. So the one did answer and was interested, and it has come to fruition. And the great part about this is that the Ocean County Natural Lands Trust is going to be funding it 100%, which is so the road is 20 Brower Lane, which is off of Drum Point Road, if anybody's familiar with it. It's actually adjacent to the airport tract here in the Township of Brick, which we all know is a open space already. It is, for those who like this, the Block 321, Lot 23. And again, it's the real address is 20 Brower Lane. So, as part of the Ocean County Natural Lands Trust purchasing this for, to keep it as open space, they need support from the town, which obviously we're more than in favor of, since we started this committee for the purposes of trying to acquire as many properties as we can. And obviously we're having the council recommend the property be limited to what's called passive recreation, such as walking and biking trails for future use. So it's not going to be turned into some type of building or a parks parks building or a DPW building or something. So it is exciting, and what we were authorized to do then by the Brick Open Space Savers boss was to send out another 4 letters, because our original 4, we're going to be 25% successful in acquiring a property, and we're on to the next 4 to see if we can keep up that track record. If they ignore us, we move on to our next 4. And there's we have 38 properties that are on the list that the Brick Open Space Savers thinks are appropriate for acquisition, and we're just going to keep our way going down that list and then adding to it as time goes on. So thank you very much for having on the agenda.
Thank you, sir. This brings us to the end of our consent agenda. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public on questions on the resolutions only. Yes, Ms. Cole.
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard, and I do commend that in some of the cases, additional information was given that previously wouldn't have been. However, there's still insufficient information for public records in a public meeting. Let's start with the T-Mobile. I'm somewhat aware of a little bit about the township being compensated for the number of customers that they have. But how do you know how many customers they have, and what is the compensation? You want me to go through all of them, and then you'll answer?
I'll give it my best shot.
Oh, okay, so you don't want to do it one at a time. Then, and I'm going to do this until you provide the public information we're entitled to, which is, in addition to the block and lot, put the street address and tell us each one of these. There's no reason for you not to do that. And then the authorization for acquisition of property by the county, not by Brick Township. Is that what I'm reading now that I'm reading it?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The acquisition of property by the county,
Yes,
not Brick Township.
Yes, we were lucky enough to have them funded 100%, so that was
They're
awesome.
funding it 100%. So you talked about the one address. How about telling us what the other three addresses are? For the record, it's supposed to be public, and each time you're going to be doing 4 at a time. So each time, how about putting them separately and let us know the addresses? And where can we look to find the list that of all these, how many, 300-something pieces of property that you're going to go through 4 by 4?
I think we have, so far there's a list of 38 that we're going through any property in the town if you have any
I
ideas.
thought you said that it was 4 at a time, and I thought you mentioned a number like 300 and something that you would be covering. No?
There's 38 on the list, so 3, I guess maybe got mixed up with 3.
38?
Yes.
So each time, until possibly the last, we can count on 4 at a time, is what I heard you say.
Yeah, I figured that's a good number.
So when you do, please tell us the addresses of each of the 4, whether they avail themselves of the request or not, and keep us informed as much as you can. It doesn't take a lot more to put addresses. So I await your response, Chairman.
So as far as the tower goes, I believe there's going to be 3 tenants.
That's correct.
Mrs. Bergen, I wouldn't imagine we're privy to how many customers each one of them have.
You have to be.
Well, that would be, if that's accurate, then that would be maintained by our public safety communicator expert, who is the cell tower person, but we just are all we have on file is who the lessees are.
Right.
And the percentage, the payment to the township equals 40% of the grossly monthly revenues collected by T-Mobile.
Isn't it per number of people who are availing themselves of that service that
The
it's done?
sub-lessees, yes. Each sub-lessee, it's 40%.
And right now, you might not know how many they have, but
How
at
many
some
customers they
point,
have?
you
No.
should know, as the township and being due money for it, and whether everybody who's on it gets included in them having to pay a charge, or only the people that are subscribing to T-Mobile. It's been a long time since a cell tower went up, but the information is our right as public information. So I would hope that before the end of the year, that you'll print at least what information it is and how they arrive at how many customers they must compensate us for. I'm awaiting your answer to my questions, like the addresses for 8, A through E, and the one I just posed.
So again, those addresses can be found online if you punch in the lot and block.
Excuse me, if this is public information, it is not up to me to have to research it. In fact, I once got a very nasty comment sent to me by the attorney What I was requesting in an open records was a question that looked like research. It is information we, everyone in the public, whether we know how to use a computer, how to search for it or not, are entitled to. It is up to the township to provide us with the information. And I've asked for this over and over and over. And I'm going to continue until you start printing it. In fact, I'm not so sure that these should be lumped into a consent agenda and not individually examined. But I'm awaiting what are the addresses A to E on item 8.
I'll take it up with council and see if we're privy to give you that information or not. I'm not
Well,
sure.
I believe you have counsel here right now.
Yeah.
Find
Okay.
out.
I will after this.
So,
I'm asking the question.
I can tell you my opinion.
Just talk into the microphone, Mr. Cunningham.
As you know, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Starkey. I don't want to speak on behalf of him. But my understanding that, and the mayor is an attorney as well, a lot and block is a legal designation, and that is public information. And the duty of the council and the town is to inform you as to a location, not to do legal research for you or to, do those things that the public can easily access, be it by a computer or by coming to the township for that information. So I think you've discharged your duty.
I'll take it up with DCA then, because that is not my understanding for many years and why we don't have the street address. But it'll be up to DCA.
Thank you. Mr. Foster?
Sam Foster, 108 Chico Drive. 2 quick points. First, I agree with Ms. Call about the street addresses. Mr. Cunningham, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to say that I have attended Township council meetings, and they do provide the street addresses, and it's not that big of a deal. If you have the block and number, whatever that was, the block number, it's very easy since you have that information in front of you. Just put this, make a note about what the street address is. It's not a big deal. Tom's River does it. I've seen other towns in New Jersey on YouTube. They have their council meetings and they do the same thing. I'm not saying that it's. I understand what I understand what you're saying. I'm sorry. Well, it may not be required, but there's a lot of things that go on during council meetings that are required, and the council doesn't do it. I mean, I'm not going to get into specifics, but you're with the Starkey Law Firm, you know what I'm talking about. Anybody that views the YouTube council meetings knows what I'm talking about. That's that point. Like I said, that's what Tom's River does. Other towns in New Jersey does it. I understand. That's okay. Like I said, it's one thing for you to talk about. It's not required, but there are requirements that this council and this administration repeatedly failed to provide us with. I'm not such as conduct. Now that's that. Now I have a question about the resolution number, the one about T-Mobile. That would be number 4. This is, I believe, I came in late. Just got off work. This is regarding a cell phone tower. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, has Brick considered? Now, the cell phone tower that is being discussed. Who installed it and who owns it?
It's the tower.
Again, I apologize.
It's a tower right in the back of the building here. So we
Right
own the
next to the police
property and
department.
someone else owns the tower and we get a
Who
portion of the.
who installed it? See, do you know?
Crown Castle, I believe.
Okay. Now, here's the point. Here's the question I want to ask you. Now, I'm a DoorDash delivery driver, and I know that I have a Verizon cell phone service, and I've had a big problem, including today. That's one reason why I stopped work tonight, is because they've been having outages in certain areas. They're blacked out areas, and I was told by an employee that they're rebooting their cell phone towers, and that's why to convert to 5G. Now, I don't know. This is why we have the attorney here, Mr. Cunningham. So I think that you can tell us. My question is, has Brick considered cell phone service for the Brick area? In other words, installing and building and installing a cell phone tower and then leasing it or renting it to T-Mobile, Verizon, and whatever the other, AT&T. Would that be legal? Is the municipality of Brick allowed to do that, or in order to generate revenue for the budget? Could you tell me? Could you speak? I can't hear you. The microphone.
It seems like you're asking 2 questions.
I don't think people can hear you, that microphone.
You can't hear me?
No, I can hear you, but I know that people can't. The microphone, if you could move that closer to you. because the people out there.
I thought you were asking me a fact question as to whether we've inquired, and I'm not familiar with that. I would defer to Ms. Bergen.
Well,
for the
no,
first
what
part.
I'm asking is it legal? Does Brick Township have the legal right to build a tower, cell phone tower, and then lease cell services to the Verizon, AT&T, and now, Mr. Cunningham, I'm trying to ask you, if we build a cell tower, okay, cell tower's up, can Brick Township, in order to generate revenue for the budget, lease that to Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, any other cell phone provider out there so they can use it to expand their network? That's the question I'm asking you. I mean, you seem befuddled by my question, but it's pretty
It's
straightforward.
not really a legal question.
Well,
So
Mayor, I have
a
to
town-
stop.
a town can own- yes, a town
This
can
is,
own a-
Mayor, please. This is a
You're not
legal
gonna let me
question.
answer your
No,
question?
well, you're the mayor. You're not the township attorney. I'm asking the township attorney.
Yeah, well,
Well, you haven't
I'm
asked
gonna,
Council
I'm
President.
actually gonna, the
Are
attorney
you,
does not
are
get to
are you
answer this
legally
question.
qualified? Mr. Cunningham said that there's things that you are and are not. Well, Mayor, please, this is an important
Please.
point here.
Can I just
'Cause-
answer your question?
Well, sure, is it legally valid? Do you have the legal right
This
to
is a
make a
fact
comment?
question.
We have a township attorney here, and we spend a lot
Well,
of
we can
tax
go-
money.
we can just
Mayor,
waste
Mayor,
the rest
please,
of your
please.
5 minutes.
Mayor, I'm speaking, okay?
Yeah, you
Try to
asked the
explain-
question, I'm
Mayor,
going to answer.
No, I asked the township attorney a legal question. You don't have.
Direct it through the chair, sir. If you
So,
want to follow
Mr.
proper
Mr.
decorum, it goes through the chair.
Mr. Foster,
Yes,
so you asked a question.
I asked a question of the
Right.
township attorney.
Are you gonna let me talk now?
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
will.
You asked a question.
Yes.
So my advice to you is to take the answer from the most qualified person. Mr. Cunningham said that he would defer to Mrs. Bergen. Mrs. Bergen and the mayor are probably better qualified. It's not a legal question. If
Yes,
you-
it is a legal question.
Listen, I'm not a lawyer, that's obvious. But I'm telling, if you think for a minute we can erect a tower and rent it to whoever we want, then that's fine. These folks here are qualified
I
to
did not
answer your-
say that. I did not say that.
So you're asking, so
Excuse
you're-
me, wait,
let
wait.
them answer the
No,
question.
I have 5 minutes, please. No, I'm correcting your inaccuracy about what I said. I did not say 1 minute. I said, do we have the legal right? That's a big difference from me.
Right.
You snide comment
there's-
about, we could
there's-
just, you think for 1
there's
minute we can
there's
erect a
two
tower.
lawyers. There's
I
two
asked the
lawyers
township,
there.
excuse me.
Let them
excuse
answer the
me.
question.
He does not, I'm asking a legal question from the township attorney, that's why he's here. If he's going to defer questions or answers to the mayor and the business administrator, why are we spending all the money we are with the Starkey Law Firm? He's the one that is qualified. We've gone over this before in the council before, when we had Republicans in charge of the council, and Democrats could ask questions, and they demanded the answer of the township attorney. This is a legal issue as to whether we have the legal right. The mayor does not have the legal, he's the mayor. This has been explained plenty of times in the past to the point where there's case law on this subject. Now, we have a township attorney here to ask questions, answer questions about legality. The mayor, I don't care if he's a lawyer or not, he's the mayor.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if it's helpful,
Yes.
if I can interject.
Could you speak into the microphone, please? People can't hear you.
I'm speaking into the microphone, sir, and
We
I'd
can't
appreciate...
hear you. We
I
can't
would
hear you.
appreciate it if you would give me the courtesy of not interrupting me. You've asked me a question.
I will give you that courtesy, and I would appreciate if people do that to me as well, including your boss, Kevin Starkey. But go ahead and answer. Go ahead.
Kevin Starkey is my partner.
Okay, whatever.
My equal partner. Now, you've asked a question of me, as I understand it, as to whether or not it's legal for the township who owns the property in the back of this building right here, if it's legal for them to lease a tower. And the answer is yes. Is
That's
that-
all. That's
There you
it,
go.
that's all.
There you go.
So why are you referring to answer, you said, why did you say, or at least President Mancino said, he's referring, you referred to the mayor and the business administrator. Why didn't you just say that from the beginning instead of passing on to the mayor and the business administrator?
I can answer that.
Okay, I'm glad you
Because you
did.
asked two questions in one question. You asked for a factual question, which had to do with what they were, who they were renting to and whatnot, and I'm not privy to that. And that's why I deferred to Mrs. Bergen, because she would have that information, which I did not have. I did not defer to the mayor. The mayor interjected. Thank you.
Well, I'm just going by what the President Mancino
think your time is up.
said. I understand, but I'm replying, and if there's going to be interruptions, I feel I should be allowed to finish my point, especially to correct inaccuracies about what I've said. You're the one that said that the township attorney referred the question to the mayor and
So,
business
Mr.
administrator.
Foster, you got your answer.
Oh, yeah, I did,
Yeah,
finally,
so
after much
your-
chief
So your time
tooth-pulling.
is up. You got your
Yes,
answer.
I understand
Do you
that.
have another question?
No, I'm not gonna.
Thank you.
Why
Your
bother you? I'm not
time
gonna
is
get a
up.
straight answer.
You got a
Run
straight
around.
answer. You got more than one answer. Please sit down. Please sit
I am
down.
going to, I'm
Thank
going to.
you.
I just want you to understand things, that's all.
I do. Thank you.
And if you're, I just want to point out, just very quickly, if you're going to make a statement that's inaccurate like you did, because township attorney said something that conflicts with what you said, then don't complain when I challenge you, that's all.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from public? Closed public. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Albany.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to our computer bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $7,439,157.08.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion?
Second.
Thank you. Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the computer bill resolution only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albany.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to our manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $5,002,201.89.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the manual bill resolutions only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albany.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Councilman Ambrosino.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank
This-
you.
Thank you. This brings us to our public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Anybody from public? Yes, Mr. Sluka.
Good evening, John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. I remember to do that. I'll read my letter, which I guess most of you got, if not everybody. Dated November 17, dear Mayor Ducey, Council President Vincent Menachino, all Brick councilmen and councilwomen, all Brick residents and workers of Brick as well. 14 to 20 feet high pollution, noise, and safety walls along the side of the Garden State Parkway are needed in Evergreen Woods, Primrose Garden, Greenbrier, Birchwood, Briar Mill, Brick High School, Town Hall, and some other areas in Brick and Ocean County. Large trees and thick, dense brush that were destroyed by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners on the Garden State Parkway should be replanted for the health of all Brick Township and Ocean County residents. Various studies prove that the ill effects of the tiny particles being sent through the air to our lungs from the Garden State Parkway will cause bedridden lives and premature deaths of many of our seniors. Studies of air pollution have proven over and over again that toxins from high-volume traffic areas harm our citizens. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners have left a legacy of autism, asthma, COPD, lung and mouth cancer, heart attacks, and premature deaths in our area. Our neighbors, or even the relatives and friends of those poor people afflicted with autism, asthma, COPD, lung cancer, emphysema, bronchitis, and lingering heart and lung disease, feel the pain every day. We should stand arm in arm with all these people to protect them from the abuses of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners. But do we really feel for these people? Are we afraid of the big agencies like the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, or is it that sometimes it seems like we don't care for our own neighbors? The New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners caused the deadly toxins to flow into the residents' lungs, and by doing so have caused premature deaths, autistic children, and devastating heart and lung ailments, such as asthma and COPD. The destruction of the environment surrounding the Garden State Parkway was done to gain power by elected officials, their benefactors, and their cohorts in the state of New Jersey. The residents and workers in the areas surrounding the Garden State Parkway are at risk continually through early onset of COPD, heart attacks, and asthma, and other ailments because of the uncaring policies of the commissioners of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority and their strategically located benefactors. We all need to stand up and speak out at every opportunity. We cannot wait until one of these deadly illnesses impact our close family members. Should we all not fight against the big government, big agencies that take over our lives? Isn't it time all elected and non-elected local officials stand before the people to fight against the big government, unelected bureaucracies? How many of our neighbors will die waiting for help? Who will stand up against the bureaucracy, the lobbyists, and the donors, and do what is needed for the rest of our residents? A legal course of action should be taken immediately. Lawyers should meet with clients and file various class action suits. And we all should stand here and take a stand. Thanks for your time, John Sluka. I'll yield back 2 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Cole?
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. And the first item I want to address, number one, is the consent agenda the way you do it. I will be contacting DCA for many questions, including your failure to use the Robert's Rules of Order, which is cited in our code, or to use any appropriate rules of order, or those rules are set to give every one of us the opportunity to speak on any subject that is particularly on the agenda or that we are very interested in. I will call your attention to the pamphlet that's on the back, Council Action Meeting Rules and Procedures. The number 4 says, the manner of addressing the council. Those wishing to speak should raise their hand and wait to be recognized. Upon recognition by the chair, the person shall proceed to the floor, give his or her name and address in an audible tone of voice for the records. Unless further time is granted by the council, he or she will limit his or her statement to 5 minutes. Statements shall be addressed to the council as a body and not to any member thereof. No person other than the chair and the person having the floor shall be permitted to enter into any discussion without recognition by the chair. Council members shall not direct any question to the speaker addressing the council except through the chair. That is not what you just witnessed, ladies and gentlemen. And also, I am disgusted with the governance, lack of any proper governance of Bricktown. There was a short period that we had a window that we had proper governance, but it hasn't been taking place for many years now. With the coming of the new year, I firmly suggest that after the reorganization, that the council set the agenda so that you can take a portion of the code and tell it to all of us. People are not familiar, and changes are made constantly to the use of the internet that nobody can keep up with. It's impossible. You don't have a township that educates people on how to do it. So after the beginning of the year, I would suggest that each meeting you set aside 5 or 10 minutes and take a portion of the code and go through it numerically for as long as it takes to do that, because nobody seems to know what they should be doing and no discussion has been allowed. We the people are being insulted. Mr. Foster, for one, you cut him down. And Mr. Cunningham, I respect you. I don't know much about you, but I do believe that I understand. You are a partner in the Starkey firm as much as Kevin is, and I believe his father. Therefore, Mayor, you were wrong. You should never have interjected because it says there. You weren't recognized by the chair. Only the attorney was. So, after the beginning of the new year, I would suggest that you start being customer friendly. We're your customer, we're your clients, we're your employer, and start serving us as you said you were going to do. Also, I did forget, you are appointing, without any discussion, without anyone having a say in it, Kathy Russell to the Board of Adjustment. That definitely should have been a separate item. So after the beginning of the year, I hope that you will do things the way the code book says. And to do that, let's hear the reading ahead of time so we all know. With that, I will do what my father told me my uncle did. He deferred to the priest when my parents got married. He was 3 years younger than my dad, which made him something like 18, and had never given a toast in his life. So he handed it off to the priest that had officiated, who was at the reception, which was no big catered affair. It was in his cousin's house, and said, "Here's to all who wish us luck, and all the rest can go you know where." That was the priest's comment. So I wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope that you'll find a more civil manner in treating us in the new year, and give us the answers we need.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Yes, Mr. Foster.
Sam Foster, 108 Antigua Drive. First, I agree with Nan Carl. Once again, she's right. I've pointed out before about the pamphlet in the back of the room. When Council President Manicino went berserk on me about 3 council meetings ago, started slamming down the gavel with a crazed look on his face. That's one point. Mr. Cunningham, I'm going to address Mr. Cunningham. Until the day comes when the Democrats in this administration behave themselves, don't lecture me on my conduct. If you have a problem with my conduct, hey, look at these people and the way they act. I was attacked during a council meeting with the council president sitting up there, did nothing, and your law partner, whatever he was, Keenely, and nobody did anything. So don't talk to me about my conduct. I'm a disabled person. I don't need the aggravation.
Council President, could you instruct Mr. Forster to address the Council President?
Yeah, you're supposed to be.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As far
I'm
as,
sorry.
as far as
Okay,
Ms. Colton.
I'll direct you then, because it applies
Thank
to you.
you, sir.
And also you, Mr. Ambrosio.
It's Ambrosino.
Don't point, please, sir. Don't point. I don't
Mr.
need, you
Mr.
don't get, you can make a comment, but I don't take orders from you. Take orders from the council president. That's
Listen,
all.
Mr. Foster.
Okay, I'm going to address it at you then.
Yeah, you-
I'm making a point here, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Say what you need to say.
Now, I'm going to say my point. I'm a disabled person, and as I was saying, until Mr. Ambrosio, Councilman Ambrosio, decided to interrupt me illegally and point out to you that I should be addressing you. By the way, Democrats didn't treat Republicans this way, but again, isn't that the proper way to do things? But as I'm saying, this goes for all of you. I don't care who you are. I'm a disabled person. I don't need aggravation. And until the day comes when you Democrats can sit up there and behave without illegally violating people's legal rights as dictated in the pamphlet in the back room, that's just the municipal ordinance, I might add. I'm talking about ADA law, reasonable accommodations. Hopefully Mr. Cunningham and his law firm understand about ADA. I don't know. But until that day comes, don't lecture me about my conduct. Because if you do, we can have this conversation in front of a judge. State Superior Court, federal, take your pick, Mr. Cunningham, or your law firm, or you. That's done. Councilman President Manicino pulled about 3 meetings ago when Mr. Ambrosio was not yet a councilman. There was no excuse for that. By the way, that was edited out of the YouTube video of the council meeting of that night. Rather interesting, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. I wonder who did that, right, Council President Manicino? It's not there. It's not there. just like with Councilwoman DeYoung through a folder at Councilman Fosman.
Mr. Foster, we're not going to...
Hey, my time, 5 minutes, sir.
We're not going to sit here and be abused by you. It's unfortunate, whatever your disability is, it is what it is.
Oh,
That
hold it.
That does not
How
give
dare
you the right...
How dare, hold it.
That
How
does
dare
not
you
give
say
you
something
the
like
right. That doesn't give you the right
there
to
you go,
sit
looking
here.
at the clock.
That doesn't give you the
How
right
dare
to
you?
abuse people that are sitting here, okay? It
My
does
legal
not
rights
give you
are
the
federal
right.
law, sir. This is municipal.
Listen, we have disabled people in this room other than you, and we treat
Yeah,
them
no
with the
kidding.
utmost
And they don't
respect.
get treated like I do
Listen, we treat you and everybody else with the utmost
You're a
respect.
liar.
Listen, you're finished. You need to sit down.
I've got 1 minute and 27 seconds left.
He needs to go.
And I'm telling you the way
He needs
things
to
are.
go.
I'm a disabled person.
Listen.
That's it.
He needs to go.
I am going right now.
Thank you. Mr. Forrest, it's time for you to go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else from public, please? Seeing none, close public. Mrs. Bergen.
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, interesting evening. Unfortunately, things get out of hand every now and then. If everybody would just maintain their calm and cool in this environment. It's a public meeting, yes. You can say what you want, yes. But, just have some common courtesy. It just comes down to just having common sense, common courtesy. Everything can be calm. You disagree with us. That's fine. That's not a problem. Disagreeing with the mayor, disagreeing with the council members, disagreeing with individual council members is definitely not a problem. There's probably, if everybody agreed, there wouldn't be a need for elections. There probably wouldn't be a need for a government. Our forefathers back in the day created a government for the debate of coming up with better ideas, and that's what it's about. We have to get back to the basics here in Brick Township about, yes, having discussions and, yes, disagreeing with each other, but it's about the debate where we might come up with better ideas of how to do things. So if everybody could just keep that in mind, just going forward, that would be very helpful. I mean, we're trying to do business of the town here, and to have this type of conduct, it just doesn't really make sense. It's unfortunate. So hopefully everybody can move forward in a better mindset. When you understand that's what government's for. It's about debate, it's about disagreement, but it's about being respectful to everybody and just being human beings to each other. I know a lot of things went crazy during COVID. There was a lot of things closed down. A lot of people had very hard times with financially, socially, everything like that, and you saw that around the nation. And it's something that is unfortunate that happened. But if everybody gets back to the way government should be, and it should be respectful, ideas being bantered back and forth, people helping people, that's what we're here to do. People come with problems, whatever the case may be, lights in the windows and things like that is a recent case. And it was something that was resolved. Not resolved right away. If you remember, we had to make changes to it, and it was about the debate. It was about the hearing everybody's side and everybody's issues. And then what kind of came out of that is a good piece of legislation that we have here. Now, less people are being bothered with the light. And that's just one little example, but hopefully we can get back to that. And just some big events that are coming up. On November 30th at 5:30 is our tree lighting right here at Town Hall. Santa Claus should be here by about 5:45 or so. Free hot chocolate and cookies, as well as a free train ride here at Town Hall. December 3rd is a big grand opening at 10 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Cupcake is coming here to town, which again, Mr. Cupcakes, everybody's going to be happy. Everybody in a happy mood. Come on out to Mr. Cupcake, 10 o'clock on December 3rd. That is in the same plaza that Bubba Coos and Party Fair is located in. I just want to also remind everybody, December 17th, which is a Saturday, right here in Brick, at the Gravely Graveyard, at 9 o'clock in the morning. This is off of Princeton Avenue. Everybody might not know where it is, but we're having Wreaths Across America. We've had it for a number of years. The turnout isn't great, but it's a pretty cool ceremony. And a lot of people here in Brick. We have 85,000 people here in Brick. I bet you 84,500 do not have any idea where Gravely Graveyard is. But it's a historic place. It's a cemetery right in the middle of a neighborhood. You know, as we all know, the planners back in the 70s and 80s of Brick, you wanted to build everything everywhere. They surrounded this cemetery. So our historical society is going to be out there laying wreaths, and it's kind of cool. They give you a wreath. They give you a map. You have to find your person who you're going to lay the wreath on the grave site for, and then there's a little historical couple sentences about him or her, and the family, and how he ended up in Brick, or she ended up in Brick, you know, with us at the Gravely Graveyard forever. And then at 12 o'clock, Wreaths Across America is going to be taking place at the American Legion with a ceremony, and then they're leaving there and going to the First Baptist Church, I believe. But 12 o'clock at the American Legion, if you want to join that one, sleep in a little bit later, that's perfect. And then I just want to lastly remind everybody about the PBA annual toy drive is going on now, and the PBA, which is our police, they do the Union for the Police, they do a lot of good for families in Brick Township. The Mayor's Student Advisory Committee will be helping wrap all those presents and getting some help there to Santa Claus to be able to deliver some extra gifts here in Brick Township. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Cunningham. Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk. Thank you. Madam Secretary. Thank you. Councilman Albanese.
Safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Councilwoman Zapsik.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Is there a holiday coming? Councilwoman Pomterera.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention something very positive that happened earlier this month. Our Brick Township EMS was selected as Pre-Hospital Program of the Year for 2022 at the New Jersey EMS Awards. The award is a tribute to all of the hard work, dedication, and kindness and compassion of all 56 employees that make up our program. Brick EMS was recognized for all the ways that they impact our community of Brick and the surrounding communities. Also, we had several employees that were nominated as EMT of the Year, specifically Paul Witham, Brian Schwartz, Mike Magnetti, and Jesse Porcelli. All of them were nominated for EMT of the Year. It is so wonderful to see all the hard work of our EMTs be acknowledged in this public way. I've had occasion, unfortunately, to utilize their services on various occasions, and I've always found them to be not only professional, but compassionate and kind. So I am thrilled that they received the recognition that these people really earned. And with that, now I'll say Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Councilman Ambrosino.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd actually like to echo the mayor's comments about courtesy and respect. I think it is critically important that everyone in this room display courtesy and respect for one another. At the end of the day, that's the only way that all of this works. And with that, I will wish a happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you. Council Vice President Crate.
Thank you. It's the biggest travel weekend of the year, so if you're traveling to family somewhere outside of Brick, please drive safely, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. So our next meeting is Tuesday, December 13th, 2022 at 7 p.m. here, and happy holiday. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.